Thanks for listening to The Quality Hub, chatting with ISO experts. I'm your host, Xavier Francis, and today I'm here with two special guests, Scott Dawson, President of Core Business Solutions, and Danny Norman, Advanced Manufacturing Consultant, Tennessee MEP. Glad you both could join us.
Thank you, X. Great to be here.
Yeah, thank you so much.
Absolutely. Absolutely. We're so glad to have you both here today. And we're going to talk about something a little different today than what our normal ISO conversations are. We're going to talk about AI in manufacturing. And is it a real opportunity or is it a real hype? But before we dig into that, let's learn a little bit about our guests and their journeys. Danny, could we start with you? Just give us a little bit of history about who you are, what you do, and why AI is so important to you.
Yeah, absolutely. So again, thank you guys so much. I work for the Tennessee MEP, which stands for Manufacturing Extension Partnership. And in Tennessee, there's MEPs all across the country, but in Tennessee, we are housed within the University of Tennessee, something called the Center for Industrial Services. Worked for CIS and MEP for 8 years now. And my job is to help understand technology for manufacturers. Additive, collaborative robot, whatever the next technology is, we help companies put the strategy together, put the roadmaps together, and adopt in a healthy and smart way.
That's great. Very excited to hear what you have to say today. Hey, Scott, what about you? I mean, you're an old familiar here, so, you can share with as much or a little as you want to.
Thanks for the old comment, X. I really do appreciate that.
Sorry, seasoned. I apologize.
Yeah, I've done a few of these, haven't I? Appreciate Danny being with us and X for you hosting this.
Sure.
As you mentioned, I'm president of Core Business Solutions, and we're a compliance company that helps small businesses prepare for various certifications. A lot of them are ISO standards. What people are often familiar with is ISO 9001. But there are some new ones very relevant to our topic today. One is ISO 27001, which is Information Security Management. And then much more directly related is ISO 42001, which is implementing an AI management system for companies that are using AI tools or developing AI tools and doing it in a responsible, safe manner. So there are ISO standards, there are global standards being established for proper usage of these tools. That's not really going to be our focus today. I know we've done episodes X on ISO 42001, haven't we?
Yes, earlier in the year we had Kevin Franklin on from LRQA, and we talked pretty deep. I think it was a 2-episode of actually 42001 and what's all going on with that, and governance and stuff like that. So good listen.
So that might be a good follow-up. It might be a good follow-up for folks after listening to this one to go see what the standards are saying. So, but today it's more about boots on the ground and getting practical solutions in place for manufacturers. And Danny's been an expert in this for however many years he's been around AI. He's done other technology implementations. This one's a little different than some of the others, and we'll get into that. But
absolutely,
I'm glad to be here. Excited.
Awesome. Well, glad to have you both. I think we'll kick it off, and this will be for you, Danny. How should manufacturers think about AI, and where do they start?
Yeah, that's a great question, right? Where do you start?
Yeah.
It's just almost breathtaking, all the speed of the innovation. And where I would say start is to try the large language models. I run into people every day that still haven't jumped on ChatGPT or Grok or Gemini. And 90% of the capability is right there for free. Really encourage people to just try it out. Whatever's on take a look at your to-do list. Maybe something that you've been pushing off for a while because it's a little bit outside of scope. Just see what it can do, and I think you'll be thoroughly impressed. And then once you've got a sense of what it can do, we really got to put a strategy together, right? For just around the large language model specifically. Mm-hmm. What I mean by that is you've got the last 2 years is just a new, almost new area of AI. We understand predictive maintenance, defect detection, all these kind of pointed applications of AI. Mm-hmm. But the LLMs is a different story. And I really encourage manufacturers to put a strategy together, and because it just affects the entire organization and probably already is in some ways.
Yeah, my experience with it, Danny, is, once you get through the novelty of it, that's kind of phase one, is just asking basic questions, see what responses, having a dialogue with the AI tool, drilling into the topic that you're, specifically interested in. That's as you said, a good way to get yourself started. But then you start thinking about work applications, specific work applications, whether it's a specific, to-do item or it's a project. Maybe you have a project in the office or out on the shop floor and you want to just get organized. I'm just throw a simple one out there. Well, tell AI all about the project and ask it to put a plan together with clear action items. You'll be really impressed, and then tweak it a little bit. But just what's the work applications is kind of once you get past the curiosity phase, which I think we're always amazed, like you said, about all this. But how does it get practical? And I know we're going to dive into that further.
Yeah. So I would say actually 3 buckets. So think of it in terms of helping you with growth, being agile, coming out with new products. And that would be a bucket. Another one would be cost savings. Any kind of software system that you wish you had, or you're maybe thinking of adding a new module to a system that you already have. There's some really strong opportunity there. And then third, I'll just add just training in general. And that can be broadly, like your entire workforce needs to be trained on some new skill, or there's somebody, specifically that you're trying to grow in the organization. It's a fantastic training tool, and a lot of it's free.
Yeah.
A lot of it's free.
Yeah.
So, Danny, could you walk us through a simple use case, a real practical example of maybe a client you've worked with to illustrate, one of the 3 buckets, just to kind of give us a little bit more hands-on knowledge of how all this might work?
Yeah, absolutely. So for the growth one that I mentioned, the large language model can put together a website, for example, very, very quickly with all of the code. And so you can start to think through, well, wow, if I wanted to come out with a new product, before you had to think about, well, maybe I'm going to have to hire a consulting firm to come up with a brand, a name of the product. I might need new graphics, may even need a marketing plan and the website. So it starts, all of that is an opportunity for you to use it. So that's kind of what I would say would be a great area for, or kind of some examples of how to get started in that growth bucket.
Yeah.
And then from cost savings, so I went into a little bit of detail on software, but let's just talk about shift planning software, for example.
Okay.
A lot of software is, manufacturers, it's 90% of what they want it to do, but that final 10%, whatever something about their business is different and the software really doesn't work for them in a specific way. The large language models could be able to do exactly that last 10% that you're wanting, so that you don't have to go out and buy another piece of software or a module or something like that.
Yeah, it does, because you can get really very customized capabilities by being specific in asking what you want and then testing some output, make sure it's working for you, things like that.
Yeah.
But I totally get that would save a lot, because you're basically that last mile, as they used to call it in telecommunications, right? You'd have to go that last mile. Well, what's that last piece that we need?
Yeah. And if you're thinking, I don't even have shift planning software. Okay. Well, you could, and you don't want to divulge confidential information, you can say something generic like, I have a CNC machine, a welding station, and a paint booth.
Right.
And workers 1 and 2 are good at the welding station. Workers 3, 4, and 5 are really good at paint booth. 1 and 2 are marginal at best at the paint booth. What should my schedule be today? Because workers 1 and 2 are out, and it will do that for you.
Yeah.
So that's just one example of how it could work. But there's a million more.
That's a really great practical kind of example. Take it a couple of steps further, maybe. It could save that request that you just gave. So there are ways to save the prompt, is what they're called, right? These queries that you put in, these prompts. And then you could call back. So you figure out, okay, I'm getting a good output here. I'm going to save that. So then next time I just have to put in today's orders.
It remembers. Yeah.
And then it'll remember, and you'll be able to kind of build on it from there. The other thing is, again, thinking about security of information, but you're able to upload, let's say, an Excel file or something that has data in it, and it can work with that data to provide the answer that you're looking for. You don't have to type it all in. You could upload documents, and it's good at that too.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's extremely good. Really encourage people. We've got to be careful about divulging information, of course, but yes, absolutely.
Yeah.
If you're spending an inordinate amount of time on dashboards for your weekly, your company team meeting, or somebody's, just banging their head against the wall trying to make a chart work in Excel.
Yeah.
That's no longer a problem.
Yeah. Go ask ChatGPT to give you the chart.
Yeah.
Basically.
Yeah.
Or give you the right formula in Excel to generate the chart. I've done that too.
And we can't get into there's basic skills that you need to do that, but it's not, and by basic, I mean, you have to say, this is my role. I'm an Excel user, right? That's the example that, this is the format that I'm wanting. And you probably need to just upload a format of a graph that you would like to look at it, right? And then this is the question I'm asking. You have to be specific about it, but yeah, it's gonna work pretty well.
Yeah.
So Danny, how do companies avoid wasting time and money on AI? It's one of those things that it's really great when you're learning how to do a prompt, and it's kind of exciting. Hey, wow, I can get this to kick it out. But sometimes you're looking like, okay, I want this piece of information, and it's giving you all of this stuff that's like superfluous. That can be a big time waster. So when you're looking at the LLMs, how do you pick the right thing? Not waste time or waste money, but kind of figure out what you need ahead of time.
Yeah. So the big thing here is to remember that there is so much information that the large language model provides that has already in it. Mm-hmm. And you want to try to pull that information out of the system, right? You're trying to collect information. We've seen a lot of companies that have really spent a lot of time and big dollars on trying to use it, taking large amounts of their own data and loading it into the system, and then trying to get it to tell a story. Or a real example of this is that we've got a company that's done just that. They're saying, okay, let's let AI figure this $1 million defect problem that we have. Like, let's let it figure it out. And they're only able to give about 50% of the machines on the line were reporting data. Mm-hmm. And so the AI basically, after a year, said, give me more data, is essentially what it said.
Wow.
Manufacturers in general are not ready to give it all of the information that it really needs to solve the most chronic issues. That really requires digital transformation. And that's when I get into talking to manufacturers about cyber sensors and software. You've got to have all of that plan in place. What we're talking about today is just getting started with the LLMs and pulling information out instead of setting up that big, long journey of asking it to decipher all of the information that you already have.
So you really need to start slow to a degree and focus more on data you already have and feeding an LLM that.
Yeah.
That'll save you a lot of money and a lot of time.
Yes.
Yeah, I think for sure that data readiness stage is really key. And that takes time. I mean, digital transformation itself is another major initiative that a company needs to pursue, and it'll help you with AI once you get through it. Mm-hmm. So, Danny, before we wrap up, what advice would you give a small manufacturer that's curious about AI? They've heard about it, maybe they've played with it, but they're kind of hesitant to apply it in a practical way in their business. What's kind of your guidance when you're working with clients?
Yeah, so if you're hesitant, you're probably worried about your data, as you should be. So I encourage everyone to get with their IT departments, get with their more extended security teams, like what you, Scott, do, help with those types of plans. Everybody needs to be on board and confident that their data is secure. And then remember what we're talking about today, which is that you're really starting out trying to pull data in and not release data to the system. If you're thinking, how do we get this data into the system safely? That's probably not the right approach. Mm-hmm. You're trying to get the data out of the system and learn from all the public information that's now available in this wonderful, easy to use platform and interface.
That sounds key. That really sounds key and I like that approach where it's like you're not feeding it something and saying, tell me this information. It's more like, I need some help with this. Let's go there.
Yeah.
So how do you at Tennessee's MEP provide guidance? I mean, what's like a practical project, basic project that someone might engage with yourself to get started with AI?
Yeah, so we offer we're a lean organization every single day. That's what we train on, and lean is really, really important because you need a value stream map to understand where you need to be focused, and then from there we are offering. I mentioned a little bit. We need to get really good. We need to build the muscle memory of how to use AI. So we're offering fundamental AI skills for your workforce. We also, we've already touched on digital transformation. If you want to take that journey, we have Sesame certified roadmap professional that allows you to put that full digital transformation strategy in place as well.
Okay. Yeah, those sound key. Are you aware of MEPs in other parts of the country outside of Tennessee doing similar things?
Yes, absolutely. DVIRC in Pennsylvania, I believe, has already released some of their AI curriculum. I believe the Massachusetts MEP, I know Michigan, and I would be surprised if California isn't as well.
Right.
So some of the larger manufacturing states are already ready to call. And if not, I'm a part of a team that helps with technology across the country. So in a way, we're all partnered together and work together to help provide this kind of training for manufacturers across the country.
Yeah, so you'd be open if somebody in Texas wanted to reach out to you?
We've already got all that set up and ready to go, yeah.
Okay, cool. Well, we will have your details and information in the description for the podcast, so at least you might be a nice place to start for somebody to drop an email to.
Absolutely,
okay.
Yeah. Happy to do that.
Yeah, I would say in addition to poking around with the tools and getting maybe some training online and things like that, get a coach, and it's going to save time and money. And MEPs are fantastic resources in the U.S. I think they're underutilized. I think their promotional side of the MEPs isn't as great. So a lot of people don't know that a manufacturing extension partnerships are in every one of the 50 states and Puerto Rico. But I really encourage folks to reach out to your state's MEP center. There's a national website. You can just search on Manufacturing Extension Partnership. It'll channel you to your state resources, or just get a hold of Danny and he'll point you in the right direction.
Awesome.
Absolutely. Yeah.
So summarizing today, what I get from all this is AI can really help unlock some savings and agility and open up maybe some new things that you need to really pay attention to in your business. But you need a clear purpose, and you need to understand that you want to pull from its data initially, not provide it with data, because you may not have the full picture that you need to start utilizing that. It needs to be structured and accessible for data. Start small and practical. Use assistants, not agents, meaning that you want to ask it questions and maybe give it some ideas of how it can help you, but not, again, try to have it parse a whole lot of data right away. And then reach out to you and other MEPs that may be able to help out with pilot projects or things like that. And also, we have some help here at Core if anybody is interested. I know we're going to be getting into 42001. And again, we're going to be continually reaching out about this whole AI thing because it's just going to transform everything the way we work.
I would agree with that, X, for sure.
And again, I want to thank you guys both for being here. It's been an awesome episode.
Thank you, X.
Yeah, thank you so much.
We want to thank everyone who's listened to our podcast today. We hope it's been informative for you. If you're looking for more information about Core Business Solutions, as we are now an LRQA company, and how we can help you with ISO certification, cybersecurity, or even customized training, please email us at info@thecoresolution.com. You can also visit our website at www.thecoresolution.com. And if you haven't already followed us on your favorite podcast platform or YouTube, please be sure to do so. That way you won't miss the next Quality Hub podcast when it's released next week. Have a great day, everyone.